Bitcoin is absolutely collapsing. It's down under 70K, under 68K, down 11%. We're back in 26 on the Fear and Greed Index.
Is it over?
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
I see it as opportunity. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Joven. This is Crypto Spaces and the Crypto Spaces community. We're going to be talking about 5 coins where I see opportunity, even with Bitcoin tumbling down here. These coins are holding up relatively well, even outperforming. And if you're a part of the Patreon, a part of the private community, you see this content first before anyone else. So when the projects are up 5x,
10x or more,
you had the alpha before it went public to YouTube. Today is currently the 2nd Tuesday 2026, right? June 2nd 2026. Use this time anytime we're in fear, as you can see on the Fear and Greed Index. Use that time as an opportunity to dollar cost average into your favorite altcoins.
Yeah, boy.
Into the projects that you see have potential after doing your own research and finding conviction in said projects. So now the fear is at 26. I wouldn't be surprised if we drop to extreme fear, but the last time we were in extreme fear, it was a great time to buy. And then when you see us start to enter greed and extreme greed once again, great time to take profits.
Hi.
Okay.
So the first project we're talking about here is Lighter. We spoke about Lighter on the channel in the past, and we called, you know, around almost the exact bottom. Lighter crash, DCA on the fear, right? Here you go. So at 87 cents, I updated Patreon members May 18th, 2026 on Lighter and saying it's a great time to DCA into Lighter here. I see the use case of the project. As I explained in previous videos, it is an EVM compatible perpetual DEX similar to Hyperliquid, but they have a lot going for them because they're listing stocks, right? Again, they're EVM compatible as well, which means that they are on the Ethereum network, and in my opinion, Ethereum will have a great bull run in the future. So projects that are built on Ethereum will perform well, in my opinion, as patience, you know, as time progresses, people will realize, you know, Ethereum has a place. So that's why I was bullish on Lighter here at 87 cents. We spoke about it. And from since then, you see it's on a massive tier now at $1.58, guys. So from 87 cents, man, let's take a look here at the trading view chart for Lighter. Let's go to the 24-hour time frame. You'd be up around, what is that? Around a 78% move. And as you could see, it's absolutely just blasting off out of here. One of the Patreon members said they started to DCA because I did a recent update. And look at how much views that recent update got, right? Four days ago it went public to YouTube, but it was on the Patreon many days before that. May 29th, 2026, it was on Patreon a few days before that, and it was at $1.16. So I was saying in that video, hey, still a good time to buy into Lighter once again, and now it's at $1.59, even from that recent dip that we spoke about here, and that'd be a 44% move, right? And like I said, one of the Patreon members said, yo, I started the DCA and I'm sure they're up in profits now because they're still holding. If we take a look at their X account, you'd see that Lighter has perp DEX listings of real world stocks, equities in the stock market where you could leverage trade. If you're a leverage trader, you could go up to 10x leverage on Dell and IBM, which recently went live on their platform pretty much yesterday, June 1st, right? And this is what I'm talking about. They have a lot going for them because they're getting these equity stocks on their platform. We see that crypto is pretty much integrated with the stock market now. It's you're not going to be able to tell the two apart. And for Lighter right now, you can see the FDV for Lighter is $1.58 billion in market cap. So 5 billion to 10 billion per market cap per Lighter, which is $5 to $10, is in my opinion very possible. I think that upside is very conservative. I think that's very realistic. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed. Under $1, right, to $10 to $20. I see people calling for $20, even $40 per Lighter. We'll see how it performs in the long term, but obviously If you get a 5x, 10x move, take some profits, hold a percentage of that for the long term. AVICI is sitting under $14 million in market cap. There's a ton of upside here for AVICI. I see a lot of people calling, you see how it's at $1 right now. For AVICI to get to $10, which is a 10x, I think that's very possible. I really do think that is possible here. I see even calls for $50 to $100 per AVICI. And with the use case that they provide, I think it's very possible, right? I would not rule that out, okay? So a 50x or more, 10 to 50x or more here. Wow! Didn't rule it out, guys, but obviously manage your risk, okay? Because nothing is guaranteed. But if you are paying attention, you were part of the Patreon, you'd have seen our call out at 69 cents for AVICI. So you'd already be up in profits here. Let's take a look at the 24-hour chart. 24-hour chart, you'd be up from that 69-cent level. You'd already be up around 48%. It made a nice move to $1.20, you know, this morning or last night, the first or so, at 73%. And as you can see, it's holding up really well, extremely well, even with Bitcoin tanking, right? Similar to what Lighter is doing. They're holding up extremely well, even if Bitcoin is tanking. And that's something you have to pay attention to, in my opinion, as far as altcoins go. If you take a look at their X, you'd see we crossed $6 million in volume in May. It's from the official AVICI account, our biggest month so far, all organic, real users moving money around the world. And the next few launches are built to make AVICI even more useful, visible, and used every day. We're just getting started. $6 million in total volume, as you can see on screen. 20,000 impressions here. I'm telling you guys, this project could be very undervalued. You see how in 2024 there were meme coins that were around 10 to 20 million market cap and then went into billions of market cap. Someone with $1,000, $2,000 invested, you know, made upside up to 5 figures, up to 6 figures, right? If you bought, you know, the right projects. And maybe potentially, right, there's a potential here for AVICI to make a move like this, okay? So even like I said, let's say you have 1,000 tokens, right? Let's say you have 1,000 AVICI tokens, right? $1,000 for 1,000 AVICI tokens. It makes a move to $10. Guess what? That's 10K. Goes to $50. That's 50K. Goes to $100. That's 6 figures, right? It's possible. It's only possible in crypto, right? So AVICI just absolutely crushing it from their use case. The real users that they have, $6 million in total volume. Absolutely, you know, showing a lot of strength even with Bitcoin crashing here. The next project we have is DRV. Let me take a look at the overall here for DRV. As you could see, guys, we spoke about DRV on the channel as well. Around, again, on the Patreon, around that 80 cents level, right? In the private, I called it out, did my research. I saw that it was going to get listed on Coinbase, as you could see here. This was May 22nd, 2026, but obviously, again, it will be few days, it would be on Patreon a few days before it goes live. So under 90 cents, right? Around that 83-cent level. So it's a little bit up from when we spoke about it. It had a nice move once again back to 10 cents. And you see that it's hovering here around 91 cents. But take a look at this chart. This is why another reason I fell in love with it, right? The chart is fantastic. It is not affected by what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin is crashing right now. Yet this chart is holding so strong against the rest of the market, as you could see on screen. It's holding up so well against what's happening in the overall macro of the market. A lot of alts are tanking right now with Bitcoin. DRV here holding up extremely well. I'm sure you guys could see that, right? Look at the screen, okay? So another project I think will have a lot of potential. It's currently at $138 million in FDV, as we could see here, $138 million in FDV. So maybe a move to 500 mil to $1 billion in FDV is on the cards, which would put DRV at basically from 9 cents, put DRV at $1. Maybe it goes to multiple dollars in the future. And the use case of DRV cannot be ignored. Let me show you guys real quick about what they've done so far. This $8.8 million in revenue here, $28 billion in volume, on-chain options, right? So in the stock market, you could do what is called puts and calls. So basically the same thing for crypto. And I was like, that is an interesting use case. And clearly there's people that agree because it has $8.8 million in revenue. Right? So there's a ton of users, $28 billion in volume, right? So clearly there's people using the platform, clearly there's users, and they also do buybacks as well. So here is from their official X. A derived trader turned $34,000 into $736,000 in a single trade buying hype calls. So basically option trading hype, and they're back at it, positioning for more upside now with call spreads, as you can see on screen, from 34K to 736K in one trade using DRV, using on-chain options. And guess what? There's going to be fees that is routed to the DRV protocol and infrastructure. Those fees will help to, fund the project itself, and the future fundamentals and sustainable growth of the project, because there's traders taking advantage of the protocol here, right? This is, in my opinion, this is what I'm looking for. This is very bullish here for DRV. The next project that we have is XPL Plasma. A lot of content creators has basically championed XPL to be a big layer 1 project like we saw with XRP, that could compete against XRP. Now, I spoke about XPL many times on the channel, as I've done with all these other projects in the past, and it's not, in my opinion, getting the attention that it should have. I think it's very underrated and undervalued. In my opinion, yes, the project itself, as far as price action goes, not showing the best of strength, but it's holding its lows, right? It's not, just on a consistent, consistent place where it's just consistently making new lows here. I think, like I said, this maybe it's a bit more higher on the risk curve because of the price action under 87 cents for XPL. But I think the use case is very interesting, right? I think it has a very unique use case to be focusing on stablecoin growth and stablecoin adoption. And I broke this down in many videos in the past, that stablecoins just continue to grow, right? The value in stablecoins just continue to rise, and a chain that is focused on that growth, I think, will do well in the future. Now, obviously, nothing is guaranteed, because compared to the other projects I've mentioned, it is not performing the best, but it could be, something you get some exposure to, and in the long term, maybe you start seeing that growth, right? For example, if you type XPL XRP on YouTube here, you'd see big YouTubers like Altcoin Daily, one of the biggest crypto channels, if not the biggest, 1.65 million subscribers, right? And they had a video where they spoke about XPL Plasma here. I found the next XRP. I know this was some time ago, but there's massive content creators that saw the vision here. Now it's really up to the team to deliver on that vision, but again, I think it has potential. Okay, so this is Plasma here on their X. They're actually integrating Claude Opus, which is one of the top AI development infrastructures, into XPL here. As we could see, 10% cash back on Opus with Plasma 1 cards. They also have collaborations or partnerships with USDT Tether, as you can see right here. This is the official Tether X account, 570K followers, and here you go, manage USDT on Plasma XPL, right? So I see the potential, right? Even though the chart is down, don't count it out. I don't think you should count it out here, but don't overexpose yourself, right? Just get some exposure. That with every project I mentioned, actually, just when you get exposure to projects, manage your risk. Don't invest more than you're willing to lose. Be patient. And if you're not confident in the project, in the long term, you want to cut your losses, nothing's wrong with that, right? I'm just doing my best. I'm only one guy that sees the value of certain projects, see the partnerships, and I'm like, okay, this could do well, right? Because this is the official Tether offering USDT on Plasma with whole station, right? And here is an official tweet here with the official Plasma account. So they're definitely in partnership and collaboration here. And Tether is the biggest stable coin in the space. So I see the potential. Now, as far as upside, what we could expect for Plasma, let's see. So Plasma right now is at $875 million in FDV. So clearly 5x, 10x, right? People are speculating if it could be like the next XRP could go even more than that. 20, 30x, 50x. It's possible. I wouldn't rule it out. But you just have to be realistic. And the final project that we're going to talk about here is Solana Seeker. Not doing the best as far as price action goes, but the utility is there. Spoke about it on the channel many times in the past as well. So this is basically the tokenized version for the Solana mobile, right? And I think if you take a look at the stock market, phone companies, Apple, Samsung, even BlackBerry and Nokia in the stock market are starting to get attention now, right? So I would think, this is my thesis here, Seeker, Solana Seeker has that potential as well, being the tokenized version for the Solana mobile phone and their ecosystem, right? They have developers that are building dApps on the phone, as you could see here, through the Solana dApp store. And I think this would be like a leverage bet on Solana. When Solana starts to do well, this is going to outperform Solana. So similar to how Bonk and the meme coins, WIF, etc. on Solana went absolutely parabolic as Solana went on to do a 10 to 20x move from the low, from $10 to $200, right? I think Seeker is going to pretty much follow that, but it's going to have value and use case here. And again, thesis remains, even if the price action is not the best, I think, having some exposure to the project will, have ROI in the future, have multiples in the future. But I think, say for example, Seeker comes down to less than a cent and it's like only 800, say it drops to 208 and it's only $800 to get 100,000 Seeker. I think that's gonna be a great buy. Personally, for me, I think 100,000 of these tokens is gonna be a great buy, man. Personally, I'm not going to tell you to overinvest in any project. I just think some exposure here is going to do well in the long term, right? You're supposed to buy when there's fear, when nobody else wants to get exposure. You don't buy the massive pumps. You buy the fear. You buy when things are down, not when they're up. You buy low, you sell high, right? So again, 5x, 10x, 20, 30x. I wouldn't be surprised Seeker in the long term gets to $1 per Seeker. And people might be like, oh no, you're crazy. That's only gonna put it at what? If we're going FDV, that's $10.3 billion in FDV. If we're in crypto for the long term and Solana grows and Seeker is a successful device or product in the Solana ecosystem, $1 per Seeker, I wouldn't rule it out. 10 cents to 30 cents conservative, $1 per Seeker, wouldn't rule it out, guys. So if you take a look at their X here, bull or bear, Solana mobile keeps shipping. So this is one of the builders here in the Solana mobile ecosystem. Seeker, Solana mobile, portfolio tracking is now live. Breakdown assets positions, you could lend and borrow, so there's DeFi. One of the patrons said they have their Seeker staked as well, and you could also manage apps in DeFi positions as well. So as we can see in this video here, this is how the app works. Again, you see right here, someone has some Seeker. There's the different dApps built. You can manage all these different things in the phone itself, right? And here's a Seeker token right there. So this is an official token for the official Solana mobile device, right? And in the stock market, those phone companies went to crazy high valuations, okay? If crypto truly gets adopted, Solana mobile device, Seeker, it gets adopted, crazy valuations could happen here as well too. Not guaranteed, but it's possible. But there you have it, guys. 5 altcoins I think that will do well going into the next bull cycle. I think projects that have actual value, that actually have volume and revenue, are going to be the leaders for the next bull run. Now, obviously, there's going to be 1 or 2 memes that still crush it. But I think if you are researching projects, you have to find out how much revenue they make. Is there any volume in their protocol? Be very, I would say, selective in your altcoin selections from now on. And that's what I'll do my best to do here. We also have people in the private also making, suggestions of projects as well. So that's why I say, guys, definitely join the private. If you found value in this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Link to the Patreon is the first link in the description. You can't miss it. Take a look at my recent banker video here. It's the first link in the description. Here we already have 78 members, only $5 a month to become a Patreon member, guys, and get access to early alpha calls on projects, exclusive access early before anyone anywhere else. So for example, I talk about a project on Patreon 3-4 days in the past. It's unlisted. Only the patrons could see it, and then it goes public. It's already up 2 to 3 to 4x, right? And then you miss the early call. You miss the early alpha on that, right? We also have a community in the private Discord that works together, communicates, share their own insights as well. And I always think it's smarter to navigate the space with others instead of doing it by yourself. 2 heads are better than 1. It's very affordable, but be very wary because all the spots here are limited. And once it gets to a certain number and all those spots are filled, it will increase to $10 per month. Thank you guys so much once again. Always remember to give praise and glory to the Lord God Jesus. Thank God for everything. Without him, we are nothing, guys. And I'll catch you in the next one.